I'll be right back. One person here. What's up, Marco? I was taking a leak. I'm gonna get that out of the way before we get started working tonight. Crispy Critter, what's up, buddy? Aiden, how you? That's weird. I see 5 or 6 of you in the chat, but it still only shows there's one person in here. I'm gonna show y'all doing the final fire. As you can see, it's climbing its way to 2,000 degrees. Gonna hold that for an hour. We'll be ready to heat treat, by God. So there's that. So I gotta. What's up, DH? How you doing, buddy? I don't remember if I talked about it last night, but for those of you who were in here when I went live the first time last night and had to cut it off because that phone call about my old boss from a job from years ago, but he did pass away last night. So I guess I get to go to a funeral again soon. But I may have talked about this last night, but guys, I think I've decided for the time being, I'm going to concentrate on the thug, not the thug only, but mostly the thug. And because I got to thinking, I really feel like I could probably learn more and truly improve my refinement if I'm working on the same knife each time. So I am going. The reason I mentioned that is because last night I had this Crewware, which is what I was going to do with it. So I am going to cut this into thugs tonight. You know, I got some Nitro V ones. I'll have some Crewware ones, difference in price, of course. But yeah, that's what we're going to be up to tonight. We're going to make some Crewware thugs and let the heat treat oven break in. So yeah, what's up, Josh Branson? How you doing, buddy? Good morning. Is thug. The Tanto should be the Yakuza. Aiden's on me about these Tantos, man. And I really do got to get back. I've got a bunch of scraps laying around, just stuff like this, that I can definitely get my, practice my process of cutting that Tanto tip in. I don't know why I'm so, 2 things I'm a little intimidated by, but a Tanto's one, which probably makes no sense. But what really intimidates me is a, oh man, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. What intimidates me more than a Tanto, man, I don't know. I can't keep it a straight thought tonight for some reason. Yeah, man, Mo, I just feel like, I want to see improvement with every batch. And I think I'm increasing my odds of making the same knife multiple times over and over and making it nicer as I go instead of, to go from this, and think I've got my refinement down, then jump to something shaped like this. It just, yeah. Keep grinding, Edgy. Thank you, DH. I like this a lot in hand. It's great. It's, I know this sounds corny, guys, but it really is a little big knife. I mean, that's as long as the blade on most of our folders. Well, let's see how long it is exactly. I've never actually properly measured it. Yeah, it's a 3 1/4 inch blade. But you can still fit it in your front pocket. It can get in the squishy bits if you need it to. So Yeah, we're gonna make some more of those. I appreciate that, Josh. It gets lonely in here at night, man. I tell you what, I don't even like the idea of coming to the shop to work anymore without going live. Just have somebody talk to me. It gets lonely out here, kind of in the middle of nowhere. This big old place, but I ain't complaining. Let's see what we're up to so far on the oven. It's like we're at about 772 degrees and climbing. I hate to admit this, guys. It's a little embarrassing, but I was a little intimidated. I'm not at all intimidated about following the heat treat protocol and getting the heat treats right. I've just spent too much time studying it and too much time talking with, with Alex Steingraber and Steve and other people. But I was a little intimidated just about learning the process of the oven. And guys, it was simple. It was legit as simple as turning it on, hit edit, type in the temperature and type in the time and hit start. It was kind of stupid easy. Meathead just texted me. I didn't see what he said, but I hope it ain't nothing bad. I really don't want any more bad news today, man. I wouldn't be being completely honest if I said that David, my friend that passed away last night, to say that we were super close, but he was good to me during a time of my life where I was living pretty irresponsibly, but I made him a lot of money and I made him look good in the boss's eyes. So he put up with my shit, is really what he did, in order to allow me to make him look like a superstar. But I haven't seen him in years. I knew he was dealing with some cancer stuff, but still sad about it, man. That's one bad thing about getting older. It's one after another, man. As soon as you move past burying one person, as soon as another one's right behind them once you get your 50s. So let's see, the thug is 7 1/4 inches long. We got 36. I'm just going to trace this on here, guys, so I can get started cutting it out here in a moment. I said it was. All right, we'll get this one cut out. Get started on it. I'm going to heat treat something tonight. It may be just a random stock piece of steel, so I can take it tomorrow and punch it. See how it works out for me. For those of you who were here last night, you probably already know, I went back and watched some of the video, and this grinder does get very loud, so you might want to turn your volume down a little bit before I fire this thing off, because it is about to get noisy. battery's garbage. Man, if you're watching, it's amazing the difference between these skinny batteries and those big thick ones. These don't even act like they're lithium. You know, lithium usually runs at wide open performance until it's dead. It just stops. These kind of tail off like an old nickel cadmium battery did. So, man, if you are in here, I am going to need you to, you know, step up your game and supply me with more good batteries. Y'all know I'm kidding. That has been the best little cutting wheel. It's just a Harbor Freight cutting wheel, but I swear that one seems like it has lasted, God, I don't know, 3 or 4 times longer than most of them do. I cut all at 8670 last night, and it was wore down to nearly nothing when I started with it. I'm going to keep using it. I don't know what happens, but every now and then, man, this thing just loses. It stops posting the chat. I don't know why. The last thing I see in the chat from Neil McKenzie says Aiden and Crispy. Somebody just everybody throw a 1 up in the chat so I know the chat's working, because I don't think it is. That's pretty normal. I fixed it one time before, but I don't remember how. So what does that do? Oh, that allows me to send it to somebody. Huh. No, I don't want to start a poll. Chat filter. All messages. There we go. I got it. What was D8 saying? Hey, Edgy, how's 52-100 steel blades? It's just a good tough steel. Look, guys, I know somebody gets sick of hearing me talk about this, but man, if y'all were to spend 2 hours tonight just watching Larry and Thomas's videos, you realize we don't need but 3 or 4 steels. In the knife world, we only need 3 or 4 steels. You know, in the machine shop, custom, you know, die, tooling, stuff like that, that's different. But my thing with 52-100 is, you know, upon testing, 8670 is the toughest steel that I know of that Larry speaks on. It's the toughest steel that people can make knives out of. So if your goal is toughness, why not just use 8670? You know, you can use like 15N20 that have a little less toughness, but not much, but a little more edge retention, but not much. But yeah, unless you just have some 52-100. If I was going to buy some steel and I was like, I want to make this the toughest knife I can possibly make it, I just get some 8670 because it's dirt cheap anyway. And, you know, if you wanted the toughest steel possible and it'd be stainless, then, you know, Nitro V, ABL, they're all the same anyway. Because, you know, all these steels, you start at the very top of the performance sheet And anytime you add something to them, it starts working its way down. You're going to end up meeting in the middle, or you're going to end up meeting in the middle of that chart somewhere, depending on. Yeah, I don't remember if I talked about it last night or not, but I said, you know, I could literally have 4 knives and it'd all be for the rest of my life. I'd want one in K390 or Rex 121. I don't care really. For a super high edge retention knife. I'd want one in crew wear to kind of be, my tough and edge retention knife, and then something at 8670 for super tough, and then something in MagnaCut for super corrosion resistant. And I feel like it would cover all the bases, but I don't think I would ever need. Need is the key question here. I might want for other things, but I wouldn't need them. This is my least favorite part of having to cut with an angle grinder, are these long linear cuts like this. It'd be awesome if I had that bandsaw set up to do that on, but I don't yet. I'm gonna get me a stool so I can get down here, see where I'm working. All right, I give up. I gotta get gloves. Sparks are burning me up. To answer that question though, DH, absolutely nothing wrong with 52100. Trust me, I've spent the past few days, man. I think I've watched every piece of content Laren has to offer. And just so that I'm not being too one-track minded, I've watched every piece of content anybody else has to offer on just, metallurgy as it applies to knife making and heat treating. It's been a very educational few days. Last cut on that wheel. She's getting skinny. I find it relaxing. You talking about grinding, Paul? How many videos of exploding cutoff wheels do I have to send Shane before he backs up an episode of Face Shield, or at least a blade guard? I know, but I doubt you can find a blade guard to any of Meathead's cutting tools. We'll blame it on him. The exploding cutoff wheels are definitely a real thing. I've seen it happen. I witnessed it. But since you brought it up again, Patina, you kind of are my moral compass. I will, at the very least, when I get home tonight, order just a face shield off Amazon, so I'll have one. Because I ain't gonna lie, it'd make me feel better too. So I will get that taken care of. I don't like wearing that respirator face shield when I don't have to have it. I know you're saying, but yes, you do have to have it. We gotta go change cutoff wheel. Yeah, when I bought these at the old Chinese Tool Mart, they said 10 times longer lasting. I didn't believe a word of it, but I will say this: they most certainly have lasted longer than any of the other ones I've ever brought there. So, no, I'm not admitting that China told the truth about something, because I'm sure it's not 10 times longer, but definitely longer. Figure out what I do with my cutting wheels. I just had them, I know. I've got a tablet coming so that I can start. It's a little cheap, no name tablet, but it's got a camera and stuff on it. I'm gonna start using it for these live streams so that I still have access to my phone. I have no idea what that text Meathead sent me was about, and now I can't look until I stop this, I guess. did you take time out of your busy schedule to find some Van-X yet? Because I haven't. Our conversation from last night was 100% correct, though. With a bandsaw, all this would have been way easier, faster, safer. The only reason I even do any of it is because it saves me so much wear and tear on my belts, and belts are so much more expensive than all these other expendable items. If I was to try to grind all that off, it cost me a lot more money and time. Hogging off material is definitely time consuming. Check on the oven. We've been live for 30 minutes, and it's still just now at 1,600 degrees. I'll be honest, that's a little slower than I was kind of expecting. We got our profile. And I dropped it in the floor. I got to step outside and open the valve on the compressor. So, you know, you guys talk amongst yourselves. So it's funny you mentioned King Shocks. I just watched a video today on a guy building his dream daily. He was putting some King remote reservoir shocks on his brand new Tacoma. I don't know what a brand new Tacoma cost, but he put suspension. It really just struts front, spacers rear, shocks at rear, new headlights, new tail lights, wheels and tires. He spent $15,000 on that truck one day. And I'm sure a loaded Tacoma is probably up, what, 60, 70? But I will admit, it was a whole different looking machine. That's funny, guys. Look, even the Chinese companies are kind of ripping off their own brands. It's not O-Light, it's O-Beam. And it is definitely a beam. That thing throws a very tight spotlight. It don't flood for shit. It lights up one little 6-inch round circles as far as you can see it. Now I got to cut in some finger tool. So far, I'm really happy with this die grinder for that purpose. It should still be way faster on a 2x72, which I hope to have in the next few months. But even if it costs me a little bit of time, it's so much cleaner than the way I was doing it. So I'm happy with it. Sit down so I can get out here and see what I'm grinding. how long it takes. It said it made kind of like a big Dremel memo. Yep. Yeah, I've always called it a die grinder. They were originally designed for grinding die parts on presses. But it makes so much cleaner, smoother the choil. This big part here I got to do with the big grinder. Probably should have did it a minute ago. To be honest with you, I kind of forgot. Something else that's been a huge help is Meathead's flashing pliers. These are made for bending metal flashing and roofing, but they've got so much grip that now I don't have to have my fingertips so close to that belt. I've got a lot more control when I'm using the grinder because of these. If I can just choke up, I can get my hands right here and really apply pressure where I need to. Like that. We have our handle profile nice and clean looking in there. May take me a little while, guys, but figuring this shit out. It's getting better and better as it goes. I'm not gonna, I may not, we'll do one knife at a time tonight. Instead of trying to make a bunch and go through steps, we'll just jump straight over here to the next step. It's going to be putting my pinholes in and my weight reduction holes. I'm just matching it to this other one, guys. Y'all ain't missing nothing. I had no idea that while I was live last night, Pocket Metal and Javon had my live playing during their live. That's pretty funny. Didn't have the volume on. When I went back and watched it, it felt like I was right there with them. Just pre-mark my holes, that way I can puddle a little bit of Mystic Metal Mover in them before I actually drill them. This is Crewwear, by the way, guys. Because it's not heat treated yet, that's a $5 DeWalt bit from Lowe's. Key to this cheap ass weak drill press is you just have to find that sweet spot and how much pressure to apply. These center holes are just going to be passed through. I don't even mark them. You're not going to be able to see them. These are just weight reduction holes and holes where the epoxy can pass from one side to the other. There won't be any pins in these. One of these days I'll add a good drill press to my list of dream tools. But this one gets the job done for now. Just barely, but it does it. I'll admit, that doesn't look as pretty as those little tiny holes I drilled, but those bigger holes are much more effective. So, I'll do a little bit of surface grinding to clean this up on the 4 by 36 right there, here in a little bit. Clean it up with some alcohol, and that knife will be ready for heat treat. That is the very first Crewwear Thug. By all means, hit me up on IG, put them orders in. I do not want to be a hindrance. I will leave this show if I interrupt the harmony of the show. Now, I mean, I haven't seen your previous comments, McCarroll, but we're not very picky, dude. There's not very much harmony here, so you just hang around. If somebody's mean to you, be mean to them back. If they get too hateful, Kyle will take care of it. The only problem with that is Kyle's the most hateful one, so. And for those of you who aren't in the know, I'm sure Kyle can tell you right now, just a little bit of stuff that I've purchased and the processes that I've learned. That probably would have taken me, what do you think, Kyle? 3 hours? Just 2 or 3 months ago? I got a lap dance from I ain't never met a dancer named Harmony. I met all the other ones, you know. But spread hate and love. That's right. Yeah, if you're new here, bud, you'll sense a little bit of playful hate. All right, so look here, guys. Still haven't fully achieved 2,000 degrees. Oh, yes, it has. I'm sorry. I bet I opened that door and it affected the temperature. Because as you can see, it was already starting its countdown. It's climbing back up. There's a lesson learned right there. In the wintertime, can't be opening and closing the door. That little bit of temperature fluctuation won't hurt anything. I learned so much from Laren in the past few days. Like, The majority of the work in a heat treat, when you're heat treating, is in that middle section. After you've put it in there and it's got up to temperature, it ramps up, and the temperature of the steel's climbing. That's really when most of the scientific shit is happening inside the steel. So we still have time left. I guess we just we move on to the next thug. See if we can't make another one just like that. Got the original one here. Oh, by the way, the reason I cut that way, I have a plan for this too. I mean, I'm gonna clean it up some more, but yeah, I've got plans for this. Little Cruwear prick. That could be your first and most affordable piece of Cruwear. If you don't already have some. You won't get to reap the benefits of the edge retention because it won't have an edge. It'll just have a chisel tip for puncturing. It will still be hardened Cruwear though. So for cleaning's sake, I am going to put my, for my sake, actually, because I know he's only looking out for me, I am going to put my face shield on to cut this one out. So I won't be able to talk. Y'all probably appreciate that. And I'd like to see if I can get the face shield on over my spectacles. Pretty sure that won't be an issue. Worked just fine. I am about to look into some shot safety glasses that are magnified too, so that I can kill two birds with one stone. Oh, let me get my gloves before I have to stop. One thing I wasn't prepared for, this thing didn't fog up like this back when it was warm. I might not be able to wear it. No, I'm not. I can't see a damn thing now. Oh well, I tried. It fogged up instantly. I'm going to get off to the side though. How many more of these am I going to get? So I have 1, 2, 5 total. last long. Maybe it's my imagination. I've had much more luck using the lithium powered die grinder with these cutting wheels. Every time I've got a plug-in one, and every time I've used it, I've shattered a cutting wheel. And guys, this is the part I could save all the time with having them water jetted. But in all honesty, it's kind of the most fun part to me. It is the riskiest part, but I enjoy the shaking. What's up, Homer? Behind the Milton. Starting to think old Paul Mills is a spark junkie. Paul don't miss a live stream from the shop. I think he can sit here and watch me sling sparks for hours. I am looking forward to a fairly close upcoming live stream I want to do. I'm going to make 2 knives, same material, same shape, pretty much 2 knives as close to identical as I can. And I'm going to pre-grind the bevels on one before heat treat, just because I want to see what the difference is, and if I have a lot of warping with it, because I keep hearing contradicting stories about, don't do that, it'll warp really easy. I know everybody has different experiences when they're in their knife shops, but I kind of want to learn that to see. see for myself, I guess is what I'm getting at. Oh, like that. That's 100% on me. I'll let it go. Lost my grip. Another great thing about these pliers, guys, is you don't realize it. When you're holding this stuff by hand, just because of the force it's pushing against you, it's kind of rocking a little bit, so you're not getting that really perfect flat contact. I know they make these in a Vitra style. I'm going to get a set. At the moment, I can't buy anything. That's the problem with having new rockers. I just let go of it again. Didn't mean to. Couldn't tell it was happening until it happened. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can see a huge difference in just how acute those angles are and that tip comes out. I'm trying to hold this by hand. Well, like I said, it's just a huge difference. If I had the Vicer installed, I wouldn't be having near as much trouble. So I will be getting some of those. That and Meathead's getting tired of having someone stop look for these every time you need them anyway. Bless his heart. I guess I need to apologize for any of y'all who I'm keeping y'all from Tri-States Live. I feel like most people watching this probably aren't over there much anyway. Oh, it turned right back on. I just know what time it is. 1:09. On the timer. Man, it wasn't even 3 minutes. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'll take that all day long over the mess I was making before. Surely will. I know it may be something odd to be that excited about, but I really haven't got to test that process much up until tonight. I don't know what the weather's like where y'all are at. It's a very nice 60 degrees here tonight. I'm sure it's dropping by now, but it was 60 when I got here. Tina, you still in the comments being the OSHA inspector? Making knives with Patina in the comments, like working with your mom in the shop. In case y'all wondering what drill bits these are that's eating through this screwware so easily, especially for such a weak drill press, it's the, I think they're right at $6. They're made by DeWalt. You buy them at Lowe's. They're the tungsten carbide. They're not solid tungsten carbide. But I have drilled many holes with that bit. Every time I go, I buy all they've got, just so that so I don't have to worry so much about running out or needing one and going there and them not having them. Because a couple times I went and they didn't, because it's the size. It's like all the sizes they sell, they're in increments of a 16th or an 1/8. I'm sorry, except for that size, because it's like a 30 seconds bigger than a quarter. Let's see what Patina's fussing at me about now. Trying to work the no-look drill press. What did I do wrong? I might cut that section with a hole saw, Shane, then you just got to clean it up with the die grinder. Because I'm not steady-handed enough to do it with a hand drill, and that drill press, I already tried it. It just won't spin a hole saw bit. That thing is, I don't know if you saw it bogging down then, it's very weak. But I actually tried that way back in the beginning stages. That was my plan, was to cut the choil with a hole saw bit. But maybe when I get a better drill press. But I mean, I've even got carbide mills over there in 1 inch that I could use, but that drill press won't spin them. I got access to a mill. It's just in a really inconvenient location for me. So I got 2 of them made. Let's see what our oven's doing. It's at 2002 degrees. Still says hold time 50. So I don't know if that means it has 50 minutes to go or 50 minutes has already passed. I don't remember. But you want to see the biggest ripoff in the knife industry? Anybody look at this? This is made in America, but this is just a little $7 ball peen hammer, right? This thing was $98 because of that tungsten tip. That's what I was talking about. Let's see if I can. See, it's got some work to it here. It should not be doing that. It's already better. There it is. All because of that little tungsten tip. It somehow it just relieves the stress from that steel and lets it lay down flat. You'd think you'd flip it over this way and beat the hump out of it, but you don't. You do it this way and just tap it. Probably not even as hard as you would a nail. Maybe just like a little finishing nail. You just tap it right there in the middle. It laid down flat. But I still don't think it's worth $100. And here we got our roll of stainless steel full. Here's my fixture, the little ceramic pins that goes in the oven so the knives can stand up in there. It says knives, and according to this, you should be able to do 3. I'm only doing 1 at a time, so I don't care about all that. And then, of course, the 1-inch thick aluminum quench plates. I did have a plan for tonight. I meant to bring that brat and reshape it, and I completely forgot all about it, man. That would have actually been something fun to do tonight. I just forgot it. So I definitely want to reshape that knife. May just keep it for myself. That way I've always got something that I made on me. But I will admit, it's not I did a really good job on it, I think. It's just not a awesome design by any means. look into that owner's manual and see. I don't know what the ramp up speed on that. An hour and 22 minutes. And we're about 20 minutes into that first 1 hour cycle. So, I mean, I guess technically what I'm saying is if I came in just to heat treat, at this point, I would be really close to having one knife heat treated. Now, I'm not complaining about that, but I know there's different ramp up speeds, so I need to look into it. See what those are. How to adjust it, whatnot. Change this out with smaller bits so I can do some pass-through holes on those. I don't want to drill a 1/4 inch hole in that and make them fragile. I wouldn't want somebody stabbing an alien and it snapping off in their hand. That's all those are for, is stabbing aliens for the upcoming invasion. I mean, I guess they're already in what, New Jersey? But don't worry, California. I'm sure they'll head south. And these rednecks down here in Alabama have them all killed off before they get out to the pansy-ass West Coast. Ugh. And by pansies, I don't mean its inhabitants. I mean its governing officials. Sometimes I forget that there may be people who stop by that don't know me or even really know where they're at. They're probably pretty confused with what the hell I'm even doing sometimes. But I'm sure my normal chat folks are probably filling them in. That or being hateful to them one. This is fairly skinny. to be drilling holes in at all, but since I'm not concerned about edge retention, I'm going to run this crew wear at its max toughness. I may just do a giveaway or two on a couple of those to begin with. Balrog, I live in a college town. Not seeing a drone here would be unusual, I'm sure. The Germans have had breakfast delivery drones for years. They're called Luftwaffles. So here's the update. We're at 2,000 degrees, it's firing, still lights 36 minutes. There's nothing in there, guys. That's the final stage of the burn in. Once that's done, I can actually do a heat treat. Now for a real heat treat, I already called my friends at Universal Tool. They told me I'm more than welcome to come by tomorrow and do some HRC testing. So that's awesome. I get to go do some HRC snobbery. If I fire that 4.5 inch grinder up, it's gonna take a minute. Scan over the chat, see what you guys have been talking about. Probably me, my dumbass. Yes, we do have a big plush recliner right in the middle of the shop, facing the big screen. I wouldn't lie about what he told me. Don't shoot the messenger. Uh-oh. I don't know what Mills is talking about. According to Brian Kim, he doesn't do much S90V because the Chinese are doing it as well as he would these days. So the performance would be basically the same. Shut your mouth, Paul Mills. But if you say they're getting it at 61, 62, then either Brian is not getting the most out of it, or there's some facts off somewhere, because at 62, it's okay. But to really get the best out of S90V, it's got to go higher than that. I am going to do some S90V eventually. There's going to have to be something that there's no concern with its toughness. Kyle, you be nice. I know what you're doing. Mills, didn't you have a knife getting rebladed? You're kind of an asshole sometimes, Kyle. Anyway, just gonna let my hands rest up a minute before I get back to cutting that. I hate those. Man, if I had a bandsaw and I could just push that thing through, it'd be so nice. I just he said 61's about it for S90V. Because that's about where Spyderco's running it, and I have heard different. What the fuck? I was honestly asking a question. Well, at this point, Kyle, we all automatically assume you're being a smartass. You know, it's a precedent you have set. So I will say one thing: it's not near as drafty in here. Me had put a big, wide flashing on the roof. It used to just barely cover the gap, enough to keep the water out, but he put a big one on top of that. And it has seriously cut down on the draft in here. It's still pretty cool. I probably don't need this jacket on. Mills, yes, Vanex is okay at 61. S90V is ideal at 63, 65. If I make some S90V, it's going to be at 65 or 64. The upper side of 64 anyway. Maybe even Brian don't trust its toughness at over 61, but I've told you guys already, unless I sell you something and I'm telling you, hey man, I made this to be as tough as possible. If you side load it and break it, it's your fault. You know better. If I'm trying to heat treat stuff at the very upper edge of what's safe and possible, and you side load it at all, I don't feel bad for you. I'll help you out on another one, but I ain't replacing something that you tried to pry with that was that hard. Yeah. Hey, Macario's still in here. That's cool, man. Do you mind me asking what is your favorite blade that you have ever created? I do not, Macario. My favorite blade, I don't have any right now, is my Heathen. I don't have one to show at the moment. I've got some in California waiting on them to be heat treated, but you can go to my Instagram page. It's edgy_American_blades. And my pinned pictures, the ones that are pinned, I have the names of the knives, and you can find the Heathen there. It's a bigger, tougher, if I was still in the military and building myself a combat knife, that's the one I would take. But it's just a little bit big and a little heavy for everyday carry use. But I'm getting more and more fond of this Thug, this knife I'm making right now. What's the heat treat for the pig sticker there? About 59. This guy, he's told me I can talk about the knife all I want, but he asked me not to mention his name. He has given me every specification for that knife. So it's all exactly how he wants it, and he wants 8670 at 59. Yeah, Paul, that's a smart thing to do. If you're that concerned about it, man, I'll take some scrap and make you a little pry bar. You ain't gotta. Don't be prying with your knives, man. That's not smart. I'm not sure if my Instagram is in my channel description or not. I need to check on that. Kyle, I have a rebladed bug out in MagnaCut at 64.7. And that's a good point, Paul, because like Brian's bug out reblades in MagnaCut at 64.7 cut insane amounts of cardboard before losing their edge. And I'm not taking anything away from MagnaCut, but you also have to consider Brian's geometry on that knife. It's very thin, but that Magna Cut will probably outcut any S90V you can find just because people aren't really pushing S90V to where it could go. Kyle, from what I understand, he does have another one coming. I think he's on the waiting list for a 20.5. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Mills told me that. So you were probably partially correct there. When it gets really cold, guys, we've got a dual chamber wood burning heater, fan force, and there's another fan up there. It works pretty well, but the problem is there's wood everywhere here. But while they're constructing this 3-bedroom apartment on the side of the shop, I'm not going to burn a single piece of wood and then Meathead chew me out later because it was, it wasn't meant to be burnt. So I'm not making any fires at the moment. I'd actually like to, when I get a little bit of money, I may just buy a cord of hardwood to set outside so that I don't have to worry about it. Because I'm saving up some of that double wall cardboard to start the fires with. But even as far from over there, it definitely takes, at the very least, it takes the bite out of there. Fortunately, here in Alabama, cold weather is not even when we have extreme cold weather, if it gets down into the single digits or close to zero, it's typically for a very short amount of time. Winters don't mean the same thing here as they do in other places, but like I'll never forget one of my favorite New Year's ever. Me and Meathead spent on the decks of this bass boat right here on New Year's Day in khaki shorts and t-shirts, and we slayed some largemouth that day. And I won't ever forget it because Meathead caught the same large. There was a boat ahead of us. We watched them pitch a spinnerbait around that stump and catch a largemouth. Probably 5 minutes later, we advanced to that stump. Meathead throws the same color spinnerbait, catches it, and it's still got the bloody hole in the side of its mouth. Stood it back. I pitched in there, right behind him, caught it the third time. We fished around for about 5 minutes, and Meathead caught it the fourth time. So that old saying that bass have a short-term memory, that's bullshit. That fish just kept coming back to the same bait over and over. Thought somebody was here there for a second, man. I could hear a little music. I forgot I had the radio on very low over here, trying not to get in trouble with YouTube. Thank you again, brother. We're showing us how to make knives, but I salute you, my brother, for serving our country. Thank you. Oh, man, it's my pleasure, man. My pleasure. Dude, I understand. Well, maybe y'all do understand it, but a popular misconception about serving your country. There's a reason why they approach high school seniors to go in the military. It's because we're dumb enough to blindly follow orders. And no matter how patriotic you feel when you join, by the time you get to a permanent duty station and you're in a unit, it's not really about patriotism anymore. It's not about your country, because we haven't been in a war for over 70 years, probably, that people could 100% get behind as a patriotic cause. It's about your brother. your group of brothers that you suffered with to get to that point in the military, and you know you'd run into a hell of bullets to protect that guy. And I don't say that to take anything away from thanking people for their service, but I just want people to understand that there's a little more to it than that. I dropped this down to try to decrease the vibration, but I don't think, no, it's not going to work. Threads of the grinder are going to get, because that's your biggest risk when you're using these angle grinders it really is the vibration. If this piece of metal gets to vibrating, that's what snaps your blades, sends them flying back into your face. What's up, Steve? In a different way, by taking care of our parents, Antique saluted me after he retired. Fine. Take care of our parents. And I told him, oh, brother, I want it to be like you, so that was very nice of you, man. All right, guys, what I do with my pliers, there we are. All right, let's do another one. How much time we got left? 18 minutes. been at it 2 hours, guys. Still like 18 people in here. But I thought that the other night too. Theirs fluctuated from 18 to 25, and the time it was over, it had 1,000 views. So. It is cool. It gives me something else to think about. I don't know if we've had any like negative trolls in here tonight, but I'll be honest, guys. My experience has been mostly positive. Like usually the guys that come in and want to talk about your mama are just here for a minute. Just like that. There we go. We should all give Kyle part of the bat since he keeps them anyway. Huh. I don't know what y'all talking about. But that, I think that sanding drum there is about done, but I've got what, 3, 4 done with it now. If I get 4 per drum, I'm going to be happy. I mean, of course, it's another expense, but it's about wore out. I'll try to get a 5th one out of it. These consumables will eat you alive, man. You think you're making $1, then you realize you're not. But even with gloves on, my glove hangs off of it a little bit, but my finger's locked in there. So, and I may still come just a hair up from there to do a choil. I don't know. I get with Dave about that. Because in case you guys didn't know, the other advantage to these, do you have an option between Nitro V and Cruair, is that Sawtooth Dave will be hollow grinding these. So, I don't know how long that's going to last, guys. I'll be honest. I know Dave, or if I think I know Dave like I know Dave, he's not going to do it forever. Just as soon as he kind of gets bored with it, he'll be done with it. He's just doing things for the love of it at the moment. That's why I want to get this. If I can get everything sold. All the steel that I currently own can make knives out of. If I can get all that sold, I can get my grinder bought and do the hollow grinds myself. What's up, Donnie? Everybody ready for V-Up Day tomorrow? I may come to the shop after. I don't know. Pocket Metal invited me to do his live after it, so I may have to take a night off tomorrow. I don't know. It's starting to go. But I ain't gonna complain at all. I got every penny's worth out of this thing. I drilled Crewware and M4 and 4V and everything else you can name out of it. So there we go, guys. There's another finished product ready for heat treat. I don't know how many more I'm gonna make tonight. I mean, I think I've only got enough for 2 more anyway, maybe just 1 more. My measurements were a little off. I don't have as much steel left over as I thought I would. Thought I'd have enough for exactly. It ain't looking like it though. I'm gonna have 1 and I really ain't about that life of making one that much smaller. Man, it'd have to be over 1 inch smaller. But that's all right. I just have to come up with something cool to do with a little 6-inch piece of Crewware. Not the end of the world. Did we just hear Javon's notification on Shane's phone? You did, sir. You sure did. Not that we need notifications for Javon. You know, if it's almost time to go to bed, any night of the week, you can about guarantee Javon's live. Donnie, while you're in here, I want to tell you, from ambient temperature, from room temperature, when I came in and turned this thing on, to get it to reach 2,000 degrees, by the time it reached 2,000 degrees, and it had been at 2,000 degrees long enough to have austenitized a knife, it had been about 1.5 hours. Does that sound close to you? Because I was thinking with a 240, it'd probably be a little quicker than that. If it's not, that's okay. But it was an hour. It would have been about 1.5 hours before I had my first. If I just came in just to heat treat, it would have been about 1.5 hours before I had my first knife heat treated. Maybe 1 hour and 40 minutes. Now, anything past that, I'm sure it'd be a little quicker. Does that sound right to you? Way faster than mine. Mine takes almost 3. Okay, well, good deal. Not going to complain then. I just wasn't sure what the norm was. I don't know if I'm going to cut this other one out tonight or not, guys. Now, I've got 5 of these here right now to heat treat. I may just, I don't know though. I still feel pretty good. I don't guess there's really a reason not to. And I've got another piece of, I could do one in 8670 if I wanted to. I think it's the right length. Ha, it's the perfect length. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll do a 3/16, 3/16 with an 8670. Give the people some options. I'll go ahead and trace it out. I'll go ahead and start the motions, and let's just see what happens from there. We'll go from there. In case you're wondering how I'm keeping up with which ones are Nitro V, which ones are Crewwear, the Nitro V have the tiny through holes, the Crewwear have the big through holes. So that's how. All right, might as well do it. Let's get this thing whacked off. I'm sure a lot of people are probably about to leave, go to Javon's. I didn't think about that. Yeah, whack it off, Shane. Your viewers demand. Well, Donnie, I've done built 4 before you got here. I don't know where the fuck you were at, but I've been live for 2 hours and 10 minutes. Slaving working my fingers to the bone. That's hot. I ain't got one glove on. I'm just saying it out loud so I don't forget. I'm sure there's better gloves out there, guys, but I don't have any complaints with these mechanics wear goat skin, leather gloves, whatever. They've held up pretty well. I'm sure there's something better, but they've done a lot better than what I thought they would for 20 bucks. And I apologize if I misled y'all. There won't be any heat treating done tonight. I said I would be ready to tonight, but technically I could, but I can't do any cryo tonight. And for those of you who know, you want to do the cryo as soon as you do the quench. The longer you let that seal sit at room temperature, the more it loses its ability to be changed as much. So I will not be doing any heat treat this evening. And it's done. Still 1700 degrees in there. But the burn it is complete. Oven is ready to do work tomorrow. And here I am. I may not be here tomorrow because of obligations. That's all right. There's plenty of other time to do it. I say that knowing I got to go bury a friend of mine in a couple of days. There's never really plenty of other time. We just think there is. That slick, almost mass-produced looking finish it leaves. And that's just 36 grit. I still got to clean it up after heat treat. Donnie, did you start watching Landman yet? They need to make sure his transition period is right. I am being careful, Christina. Careful as I get. What do you see me doing wrong now? I'm stuck with you, but I am always open to hear it. If there's a safer way, I'd like to know. Landman. Remember I told you about Taylor Sheridan's Landman? Not yet. Fuck cancer. Yeah, no shit, man. That dude's been suffering for years, too. We're talking about the same thing, Jesse. I gotta go to the funeral of a friend of mine today. He's had it really rough. It spread all of his body, got into his bones. He's been miserable for a long time. I'm glad I decided to go ahead and do this. Seems like my time is just getting faster and faster. The more familiar you get with the process, the faster you can do it. I was telling them earlier, Donnie, it's amazing how much those pliers help me, because I'm not scared of having my fingers close to the belt. So I can actually hold it flush on that platen and really get a nice sharp edge. What are you talking about my transition period? Are we talking about heat treat? Talking about soak times, stuff like that? Mr. Eddie, we in here making something way fucking better than Jack Wolf. We in here making Crewwear thugs. That are gonna cost what a Jack Wolf costs. Made in America. Made in America, the better heat treat, and a hologram by Satu Dave. How much is that fucking worth? I fucking love die grinders, me too. Yeah, heat treat, but I was talking about your transitioning. Keep up. I don't know. I'll just make this statement. If you won't pay the same money for an American-made Thug and Crewwear with a better heat treat and a Satu Dave regrind, You might be a damn communist sympathizer. Oh my God, I just thought of something, y'all. Before these knives get done, I need to get with Terry or Cole, somebody, about doing me a graphic of one of these knives killing a fucking scraggly ass old mangy wolf. Cause you know, I got spot like that. Donnie, I know I've showed you my tools before and how unhappy I was with them. But look at this shit, dude. The difference since I started using this die grinder. Look how clean that is, dog. I am so proud of that, man. Yeah, that is clean. And I still got to go back. When I'm done, I've got another drum that I've got some 120 and 240. So I'm gonna slick that shit up. So now we got another Crewware crick about to be assembled too. Somebody wants that. Don't keep fucking around, get cocky, Donnie. What's the thing saying? Just a tool, use the tool. You're damn right. That should be my company motto. Mine and Donnie's, in all honesty. Dude, I'm really not scared of this drill press. I can fucking grab this thing and stop it. It's fucking weak. And I know I just still need to practice safety. This is the least scary item in this shop for me. It's so weak. If I put 1 more pound of weight on this handle right now, that bit would just stop. Probably the only reason why my bits are lasting so long. The drill ain't good enough to burn them. I say that, I burned a bunch of other ones on that other one with the cracked collar. That's crazy as hell. I started out knife making right off the bat. I couldn't drill a hole. Called everybody in the country trying to figure out why I couldn't drill a hole. And there she is, guys. Another crew-wearing thug, ready for heat treat. Well, I gotta clean them up, surface grind them a little bit. These coming from Pops, they come with a little scale on them. They don't come flat belt sanded like the Alpha Knife Supply does. I'll be honest, I like supporting Pops, but I do feel like I get I'm not gonna say a better product, but a more ready product. From Alpha. What are you drawing up about, Donnie? What y'all see me do that scared you this time? I took it up a bit, not gonna lie. Oh, it's burning right now. What are y'all talking about? Y'all talking about it catching and spinning it? I've got a clamp on here to stop it from spinning. I did that just for Donnie. But I'm telling you, I've had it seize up with it in my hand and it just stops the motor. I mean, I know I shouldn't trust that, but that's how puny this drill press is. Ain't no doubt in my mind I can take that 18-volt hand drill over there and smoke this thing with it. I only use this because it's stable. These holes aren't for, I'm not trying to lighten this, I'm just making some pass-throughs for the epoxy. These are just crew-wear sheaves. They're not going to have pins in them, and I need something to help hold the scales on. But I do plan on sharpening these tips. Sharpen over. You can open packages with it and shit. You could definitely make a guy pay the price for shortening on your 8-ball behind the 7-Eleven. I'm going to mount mine. I'm going to put a piece of hook and loop on it and mount it to the back of my fanny pack so I can just snatch it off and go to prison. That it hung up just then. I stopped it. I do not recommend the Central Machinery drill press from Harbor Freight. But I will say, I do not need Donnie and Patina teaming up in the comments to tell me how unsafe I am. One of y'all is enough. One of these shields is a little bit thinner than I wanted it, but I'm going to finish it anyway and give it away on a upcoming live stream. I mean, it will still do the job. You're going to have about 3 inches, let's see what that is. Yeah, about 3 1/4 inches of penetration there. And like I said, I'm not gonna run these up to 66, 67 on. Probably gonna put these at about 62, 63, just whatever the peak of toughness for crew wear is. That's where I'm putting those. You guys are walking around a few more minutes. All I'm doing is I want to do a little cleanup. Get out of here and go meet up with y'all in Javon's live stream. Since I don't have any dry ice, so there's no crowd tonight. But when we do our first heat treat, I doubt it'll be tomorrow. It's possible. But whether it's tomorrow or the day after, I've got a bunch of this 8670 I can cut up into some stuff. And I have a 4-foot stick of Nitro V. So we still have more steel. We can cut into more things. Like I said, there's not going to be a whole lot of variation right now because I hope this is not a mistake. But for right now, I'm going to concentrate on the Thug and make it just as clean and nice a product as I possibly can. Now, if you want something else, I'll make it. And also, I've got some other models at Brian's whenever I get them back. But for right now, I'm going to concentrate on the Thug. I will say cleanup is so much easier. Now that the grinder's pointing down. It's all just kind of centrally located. It's not blowing it all up into the rafters and raining down on top of everything. Look at that. That is literally crew wear steel wool. So there's a little bit of mix of 8670 in there with it. Probably only makes it tougher. Maybe you'll get the broom. Oh shit. Could y'all hear all that? Anyway, well, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I just gotta get the dustpan and get this metal dust up, get gone. I'll see y'all.